Hello, friends. As we approach the Easter season, I want to take just a few minutes to chat with you about one of the greatest proofs for the resurrection of Jesus. In the 15th chapter of 1 Corinthians, the Apostle Paul presents overwhelming evidence for the resurrection, focusing particularly on the many eyewitness accounts of those who saw the risen Christ. He reports that Jesus appeared to Peter, to James, to all the apostles, and over 500 believers, most of whom were still alive at the time he was writing and could be interviewed. But then he states the greatest evidence for him personally. And last of all, he appeared to me also. Paul didn't see Jesus before his ascension as the others did, but years later he was confronted by the living Christ on the Damascus Road. And that experience changed him completely. He never forgot it and never got over it. He writes, "I am the least of the apostles and do not even deserve to be called an apostle because I persecuted the church of God." Paul tells the story of his pre-Christian ways in Acts 22. He says, "I persecuted the followers of the way to their death, arresting both men and women and throwing them into prison." He admits that he even went to foreign countries to capture Jewish believers in Jesus and bring them as prisoners to Jerusalem to be punished. When confronted on the Damascus Road, he confessed to Jesus, "I went from one synagogue to another to imprison and beat those who believe in you. And when the blood of your martyr Stephen was shed, I stood there giving my approval and guarding the clothes of those who were killing him." But here's the amazing thing. Though once the church's chief persecutor, Paul became her chief ambassador. There's only one possible explanation for the radical change that occurred in Paul and led to his becoming the greatest missionary and theologian of the Christian faith over the next 25 years, until he died a martyr's death in Rome. The Jesus he knew had died in Jerusalem, but was now alive and well. When you look at this man's life, his accomplishments are almost unimaginable. He took 3 missionary journeys that covered the bulk of the then-known world. He planted churches in many of the great cities of the Roman Empire. He wrote more of the New Testament than any other author. He mentored and then appointed elders and deacons in all the churches. He bore witness before the highest of government officials, including Caesar himself, and he did all that in less than 30 years. He worked 24/7, 52 weeks, year in and year out. The motivation all goes back to the resurrection. He saw Jesus alive after he was dead. For further exploration of this topic, click the link below, which will take you to a sermon entitled, "What Difference Does It Make?" based on 1 Corinthians 15, 1-11.